this here is a thumb release, thumb button. Some people call it a back tension, which they are incorrect. This is not a back tension release, but this is a thumb style release. This is the Carter BK Target release. I've shot it for almost 20 years, so I have a lot of experience shooting a thumb style release, and I thought that it would be a valuable video for you guys to break down how I go about shooting a thumb release and the process I use to shoot one effectively and be very repeatable with it. Step number one of shooting a thumb release is going to be where you grip it. So a lot of guys will kind of grip it on that far out knuckle like that. Some guys will do the middle. I actually did the middle for quite a while, and I just was not as repeatable as the way I choose to shoot it, which basically what I do is I get all the way as deep as I can go. So I choke it all the way in my furthest in knuckle, right up against these calluses. I liked that when I put it all the way in, it didn't change. So every single time I would grip this release, the grip would be the same. Nothing would change because I'm just going till it stops and I shoot it. Whereas if I'm here, it may feel the same every time, but there's a high probability you're a millimeter or two off in, you know, one direction or the other every single time. Same with shooting out here. For me, that's not quite as repeatable. And my biggest thing in archery and anything I do, whether it's an anchor point, a grip, the release, how I hold it, everything I do is about repeatability and being able to do the exact same thing time and time again without any differences. The next thing we're going to talk about is actually where you anchor with a thumb release. The way I do it is probably not the most common. In fact, I can guarantee it's not. Most guys you're going to see are going to kind of, like I said, get that mid knuckle, and most of them are going to kind of anchor here with these two fingers cradling this little break in your jaw right here where your jaw kinks. They're going to get right here, and then they're going to kind of pull through. And I go boom, vertical up against my jawbone. So every single time I have four knuckles of contact against my jawbone every time. So that's not going to change. Whereas here, you only have two, and it is very repeatable. The benefit of shooting this way is by switching from here to here, you're getting the string off your face completely, which if you watch me shoot, and I've been open about this, one thing I do that's not super conventional is when I shoot, I have a little bit of string pressure coming across my face. Very, very minimal, but it is there. If you wanted to be someone who critiqued my form, that's certainly something you could pick out and say, oh, he's doing that wrong, which you could make that argument. I have shot like this to get that string off my face, and I did it for an extended period of time, and personally, I was never able to repeat nearly as well and have the group sizes and the accuracy that I do when I get vertical up along my jaw like this. The next phase of shooting a thumb release that I want to talk about is actually how you're going to load up the trigger and utilize back tension more than you will just punching the trigger. What's cool about a thumb release versus a hinge you pretty much have to pull through because there is no trigger, so you're forced to pull, and then the shot will break off. For me, the way I'm able to repeat and shoot with a lot of back tension on this thumb release is a way that I've kind of worked on over the years, and I got it to where I really don't have to put any thumb movement on for this release to trigger. It's not to say if you want and you want to command shoot, you still can. I probably do 90% tension and 10% command, somewhere in there, which I think most people do, even though they will say, oh, I only pull through, it's all surprise. Most people don't do that, including top pros. The way I like to shoot is I draw back, boom, find the anchor, which for me, you know, is vertical, and then I'll actually get the pin, boom, ready to where I want, and then I will reach up and around and actually touch, if you get in here, I'll touch my thumb to my index finger. Now what that's doing is making it so I kind of have a block. I can't move my thumb any further and get the trigger off. But what I can do is start to pull, and what I like to think about is I like to think about my hand as a clock, and I like to think about my pinky rotating back, and by doing that I like to pull like this. So then all I have to do, if you watch my thumb right here, I just build, and I'm not pulling against the string, but build, and boom, it goes off. I didn't move my hand, I didn't do anything there. And that's harder to do when you're not pulling against the resistance of the string. I was doing that just with the open air. We'll go to the range and I'll show you on the range how I go about shooting, and I'll show you some of the things that have helped me get better at this over the past 2 decades of shooting it. We're at the range right now. Just gonna do some 50-yard shots and gonna break down the process on how to shoot this thumb release. Step 1 is gonna be where I grip it, which is not here, all the way in, so deep. That way it doesn't change, okay? So boom, for me it's vertical. Push the bow forward. And then now my pin is settled, so I reach up around. And pull through by rotating the pinky backwards. Vertical. Pin. Pull. I'll show you the alternate option of what you'll see a lot of people do, and then you really get no benefit at all out of shooting a thumb. See, basically there all I'm doing is just getting it close and slapping the trigger. Which you can do, and sometimes that's a nice option to have if, you know, an animal's at 5 yards and you have to make a shot really quick. It's not bad to have the opportunity to do that, but especially when you're just trying to drill home great groups and shoot really good, or an animal's out a little further and you have some time, it's much better to execute the shot loading up mostly on tension and then breaking that shot. So one more time. Just like that. That's hopefully going to help you guys out on how to shoot a thumb release, whether it's you've shot one for a long time and feel like you can improve it. Hopefully this video helped, or if you're just shooting an index and you're curious about shooting a thumb release, hopefully you got some knowledge that helps you make the decision if you want to make the jump. And then once you do, hope you guys found some good knowledge in the video.